It's the 1st of September, it's Justin Dawson, and it's the All Things Techie Podcast, episode 82, talking about ATMs in Ireland giving out free cash, dodgy boxes and the clampdown, and a lot more. It's coming up in episode 82 of the All Things Techie Podcast.
Here's the show that loves to talk about gadgets and gizmos, from A-Logic to Yamaha, cameras to control panels. You get what I mean. We love talking all things techie. In fact, that's the name of the show. And here is your host,
Welcome
Justin
to
Dawson.
another episode where we're talking tech and everything audio-visual. It's the All Things Techie Podcast. I am your host, Justin Dawson, and if you like to get in contact with the program, you can do so. There's the details on screen. You can X me. I still don't know what we call this. X, formerly known as Twitter, at Justin or Dawson, at AV Tech Junkies. We're on YouTube as well. If you're listening to the podcast, we always recommend that you go and watch it at Justin_or_Dawson, and also on Instagram as well, Justin_or_Dawson. You find me on most of the socials. If you visit my personal website, which is not on that list, which is JustinOrDawson.com as well, and all the show notes and all previous episodes of the All Things Techie Podcast is available at www.allthingstech.ie for the All Things Techie Podcast. Wow, what a couple of weeks that's been. My thanks to the guys at BZB Gear to have me on their live LinkedIn program. It was great to talk tech with them and talk audiovisual and autism advocacy and everything. We went way over time in the BZB Gear podcast, and thanks to them to having me on. Actually, while we're on that subject, I have so many product review videos that I'm going to be releasing on the YouTube channel in the not so distant future. We have the BZB Gear. They've sent me over a couple of cameras and joypads to test out. Avacor, they sent me over a 55-inch screen to test out, so that I've been doing a lot of testing with that. And of course, the camera that I'm looking at at the moment is the PTZ Optics Studio Pro that was given to me a couple of months ago, actually. And I have been testing this out, crashing and burning it, and hit a couple of issues with the Studio Pro working with the Atomos Zato Connect. Now, I know that PTZ Optics had this working at a trade show floor with the Zato Connect, and I hit a couple of bugs where the HDMI sounds like a chipmunk during playback. So talking to the tech guys over there, hopefully it's going to be fixed in a firmware. I'm not the only one that had this problem, so hopefully they do fix it, and we can get moving with the actual product review video. But that's all coming soon on my YouTube channel. Now, Bank of Ireland glitch. This made worldwide coverage, because what happened, guys? A glitch with Bank of Ireland, which is one of our national banks here in Ireland, that has had a series of misfortunes. I remember, like, when I was dating. Now, this is going back when I was dating Mrs. Dawson, about 7 or 8 years ago, that we went over to Greece and came back, and I couldn't get money out of an ATM machine because I was using a Bank of Ireland card. Now, luckily enough, I had another bank card from another bank called AIB. You couldn't even get onto the app to move money at the time. That's going back 6 or 7 years, right? Actually longer, probably about 8 years. But now, during the month of August, on the 15th of August, a glitch with Bank of Ireland's online app reportedly allowed customers with no money to transfer funds and withdraw from an ATM. The technical blunder meant people were able to put money into a Revolut digital account and then withdraw from a cash point. Some claimed that they were able to access as much as €1,000, or in English money, £859, but the bank insisted that the daily withdrawal limit is €500. Various videos circulating on social media, and you see some of these overlaid in the video episode of this podcast, circulated on social media, showed long queues at ATMs in various cities, as well as some police guarding pay points. But Bank of Ireland suggested that it won't charge interest to customers who withdraw extra cash during the IT glitch. There'll be no customer detriment in relation to the interest for those who withdraw money from their accounts following a glitch with Bank of Ireland's online services. When asked if customers who withdrew money they didn't have from their accounts, would they be subject to interest rates on authorised overdraft fees, a Bank of Ireland spokesperson said there will be no customer detriment in relation to the interest in that scenario. In a separate statement, Bank of Ireland said it fell far below the expected standard following a widespread outage of its services. Bank of Ireland added that it restored its banking services overnight and apologised for the disruption caused following the glitch with Bank of Ireland's online services.
So this is a matter that the Minister for Finance has already recognised the importance of, and he has asked the Central Bank to carry out an evaluation as to what has happened and what this means for the ability of Bank of Ireland systems to function in the future. Customers being able to access their accounts, being able to make use of ATMs and Bank of Ireland apps are really, really important, not just for the functioning of businesses and also to allow households to pay their bills, but also for the broader trust that we continue to have to rebuild in how customers see the banking system overall. So what has happened in recent days is extremely serious and is of concern, and the Minister for Finance has recognised that in the statement that he has made and in calling on and asking the Central Bank to carry out an evaluation in relation to this. I very much welcome that, and I think that's really appropriate and important that happens. I don't believe at all that our national reputation has been affected by this. It is the case that this is an issue that did attract a lot of coverage yesterday from, in particular, the business journalist community across the world. But I don't believe that as an issue is something that is in any way affecting our national reputation.
Was the money free? I doubt it. You know what, listeners? There's no such thing as free money. There has to be some repercussion, and Bank of Ireland getting the money back into their accounts, because there has to be some paper trail, or hopefully some digital paper trail.
Hit subscribe and don't miss the next episode. All Things Techie Podcast.
Now, on the 14th of September, and probably our next podcast here for the All Things Techie Podcast, I will be placing on a Media Pass badge and attending Tech Connect Live at the RDS Arena in Dublin on the 14th of September. Tech Connect Live is Ireland's largest technology event, happening on September the 14th, as mentioned, in the RDS Arena in Dublin, expected to attract over 3,000 visitors from all over the country and even further afield. Tech Connect Live is Ireland's largest tech event, and it's being held in the RDS Arena on Thursday, September the 14th, with its comprehensive conference programme of free workshops and keynote speakers, combined with a vast array of exhibitors displaying the latest technological solutions available. Tech Connect Live will cover all aspects of technology for the business and commerce sector in Ireland. The annual conference and exhibition serves a unique forum for connecting technology companies, startups, investors and Irish international end users of technology and services in order to facilitate investment, innovation, collaboration and fostering of the new commercial relationships. A central theme of Tech Connect Live 2023 is how technologies such as Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, data analytics, automation and robotics are fundamentally changing the way businesses and workers across all sectors operate. It's co-located events. Tech Connect Live 2023 incorporates a number of co-located complementary events designed to help enterprises of all sizes to keep up to date with the latest technological developments in areas including AI and machine learning, cybersecurity, digital marketing, digital transformation, future of work, blockchain, social media, IT, data and software, sales and marketing, and virtual reality and augmented reality. TechConnect Live 2023 is a co-location event will showcase the latest technologies that are impacting and transforming the way businesses from micro enterprises to large global groups perform. And a vast array of speakers is being assembled to address the various conferences and seminars spread across the RDS arena to cover topics of interest, to highlight challenges facing the Irish businesses and to suggest practical solutions. Carefully selected from well-respected figures within business, academia and state organisations, the conference speakers are considered experts in their respective fields. For instance, Tristan McCallum, technologist for the engineering of and green economy at IDA Ireland, will speak on how the digital transformation is benefiting Irish industry. Ashley Connors, sustainable IT consultant at Tech Enable, will offer advice on how to accelerate your supply chain sustainability journey with rapid digital transformation. And Kieran McCory, National Technology Officer at Microsoft, will offer an insight into the demystifying generative AI. There's loads more conferences and loads more speakers from AIB, Cisco, Emotionize AI. The conference are held in conjunction with an exhibition of the latest technology available. More than 150 suppliers from all key sectors of the tech industry will exhibit at the event. Indeed, TechConnect Live and its associated conferences, seminars and exhibition offer delegates the opportunity to engage with funders and to raise investment, to meet with the leading suppliers of technology and to hear from an impressive lineup of speakers. A lot will happen in the next podcast, the All Things Techie Podcast, episode 83. Do stay tuned for that. Now, this is interesting. Paris says au revoir to the rental e-scooters. You know what? There's so many of these e-scooters that are just being left around in North County Dublin where I live. And they're left on the side of streets, on footpaths. And you just go, for accessibility and people that might be in wheelchairs or blind people, these scooters are just being left on the stand, on a footpath, in random locations in North County Dublin where I live. I've seen some just left on football pitches in the middle of a football pitch. And I don't know, has this been lifted and placed into the middle? But I saw that every one of these e-scooters that are for rent had tracking abilities. I shall take some photos and post them on my social media pages. A ban on rental electric scooters have come into effect in Paris in response to a rising number of people being injured. It says that more than 103,000 took part in a vote of either for or against at self-service rental e-scooters in Paris, with an overwhelming majority rejecting the vehicles. Now the ban of their use has come into place, and here's some photos of some of these e-scooters, which are just looking like they are wrecked at the moment. Lime e-scooters on the street of Paris will be no more. A ban on the self-service rental e-scooters has come into force in Paris after the people of the French capital city voted overwhelmingly against them. The move comes as the rise of a number of accidents and complaints from citizens. Contractors Lime, Dot and Tier had a total fleet of 15,000 e-scooters scattered around the city between them, which are now no longer permitted as of today. Private e-scooters are not affected by the ban. Nearly 90% of the more than 103 Parisians who voted in April supported a ban on e-scooters. The trio of contractors criticised restrictive voting methods in a joint statement after the result, saying it was a step back for sustainable transport ahead of the 2024 Paris Olympics. However, the vote was hailed as a victory for the road safety campaigners, who cited for a rise of injuries and fatalities among users of e-scooters. 3 deaths and 459 injuries were attributed to the e-scooters in Paris last year, compared to 1 fatality and 353 injuries in 2021. On Wednesday, only 2 days before the ban began, a 12-year-old girl was reportedly killed on an electric scooter after being hit by a car in Chessy in the eastern suburbs of Paris, French newspaper Le Parisien reported. The scooters were also described as an eyesore and a traffic menace by so many disgruntled residents. Well, there's something like, that many scooters listeners, would be an eyesore, especially when I'm talking about the fact that I see a couple of them dotted around on footpaths, just left in North County Dublin, having that many vehicles dotted around the area, of and that many injuries dotted around, and that many injuries in Paris. It's just incredible amount of injuries. E-scooters were introduced 5 years ago and gained a following among some Parisians and tourists who sought to avoid public transport or didn't have their own vehicles. They could be rented and dropped off around the city randomly by the rider under what was known as free floating system. That's the problem. I think this whole idea of free floating doesn't work in major capitals, and I think it doesn't work in Dublin either. Let them be put into bays. Like, I remember when they brought the Dublin bike scheme into force, and you have to lock it at one of the rented spots, which made more sense. And you know what? A lot of people use those push bikes rather than e-scooters, and have been using them for years. Small membership fee to the Dublin bike scheme. You know, I think that works better than some of these e-scooters. But let us know what you think. Get in touch with the All Things Techie podcast. The details is on the screen now. You can tweet me, or do we say tweet anymore? X me on my handle at Justin or Dawson, at AV Tech Junkies. I am on YouTube and Instagram at Justin_or_Dawson.
All Things Techie Podcast.
So X, or as every media reporter says, So X, formerly known as Twitter, is to roll out audio and video calling feature. This is social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, plans to launch video and audio calls as owner Elon Musk races to build an everything app to stay ahead of competition from Meta platform-owned Threads. Users will not need a phone number for these features that will be available on Apple iOS, Google Android and personal computers, Musk said on X today. He did not give a timeline for the launch. After rebranding Twitter as X, Musk signaled he would turn the platform into a super app offering a range of services from messaging and social networking to peer-to-peer payments. The vision brings to mind the Tencent's WeChat app, a biggest part of the daily life in China. Musk continues to spearhead product development at X after appointing a new CEO in May. He is also pushing to change how the news links appear on the platform in a move that could undermine the reach of news publishers. Is it steadying out? Is Twitter or X now going to start making a lot of changes for the good of the social media platform? We'll have to see. Yes, we're on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and if you want to get in contact with the program, the details is at the bottom of the screen at Justin or Dawson, at AV Tech Junkies is the show Twitter or X handle, and you can follow us on YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Never miss a show at Justin_or_Dawson if you want to view our episodes. We're also available on all the major podcast outlets and also on Instagram as well, Justin_or_Dawson. AI cameras catch 297 drivers in 3 days in Cornwall. An artificial intelligence camera AI system caught almost 300 drivers breaking the law during the first 3 days of its use in the UK. The motorists were found to be using mobile phones or not wearing seatbelts. The freestanding AI road safety camera is currently in use on the A30 near Lancaster in Cornwall. Although the camera used AI to detect potential offences, all images are reviewed by a person, said Devon and Cornwall Police. The system uses a number of cameras with high shutter speeds, an infrared flash and lensing a filtering system to record clear images of passing vehicles. Those images are reviewed by the AI software, with those identified as likely to contain evidence of an offence anonymised and sent for review by a person to confirm the offence has occurred. So 270 offences. Now, I always thought, like, is AI good enough to like capture this thing, these type of cars going at speed? Well, my prime example is our M50 toll bridge here in Dublin, where I, from time to time, look at the cost per month of going through our toll bridge because there's all cameras and you just keep on driving. But the actual it actually registers on your portal, on your personal portal. And here's a couple of examples of my car going through the toll bridge. And at times I can see the facial recognition and see me in the car driving or my wife driving. The force that which is trialing the system said if an offence has been correctly identified, the driver would either be sent a warning letter or notice of intended prosecution, depending on the severity of the offence. In the first 72 hours of the use, the AR camera detected 117 mobile phone offences and 180 seatbelt offences. So I think this is going to be spread around the country. But let me know what you think. Get in contact with the All Things Techie podcast at Justin or Dawson at AV Tech Junkies, and all the details of how to get in contact with the program and listen to past episodes or view them is available on our website www.allthingstech.ie.
Hit subscribe and don't miss the next episode. All Things Techie Podcast.
Now, in England, for any of our young listeners, please feel free to fast forward this part of the podcast. Red phone boxes put up for adoption in Wales for £1 each. What is a red phone box, I hear you ask, listeners, young listeners? Well, once upon a time, when Justin was young, we used to actually go to this box on a street or on the side of a road, and we put in our money and we make the phone call. Way past the days of the mobile phone. Dozens of iconic red phone boxes are being put up for adoption across Wales for £1 each. Wales still has 260 of the K2 red kiosks, first designed by Sir Giles Gilbert Scott in 1924. The rise of mobile phones has meant their repurposing in many places to house things like book exchanges and defibrillators. BT is making 77 of the phone boxes available to groups across Wales. The adoption project is open to charities, community councils and local authorities. At their peak, there were about 92,000 phone boxes across the UK, but 98% of adults in the UK now own a mobile phone. There are now around 850 remaining working payphones in Wales, according to BT. The firm said that 500 red phone boxes have been adopted since 2008, with many repurposed to house things like exchanges, food banks, bicycle repair kits, dog waste and defibrillators. Across the UK, the scheme has taken up to more than 5,000 communities have taken up on it. One red phone box adopted in 2013 in the village of Rowan in Urry in Wales, also known as Snowdonia National Park, has become a focal point for the community, according to BT. As well as holding books and a defibrillator, the kiosk next to the Tai Gwyn Hotel has details and local events and serves as an important point for tourists. And they just don't want to get rid of these, on corners. So, like, if they can be adopted with the iconic red box to turn 100, it's a great opportunity to remind communities that would still like to retain their local kiosks to take it for just £1 to adopt a kiosk scheme. And if you want to adopt one of these phone boxes, I am going to put the link in the show notes and also on screen now. If you want to adopt one of these phone boxes, you express your interest in adopting the kiosk. Email BT telling which kiosk you want to adopt. BT reviews the request, and if you agreed and you pay your £1, we'll disconnect the phone and leave you in charge. Who can adopt? Recognised local authority, parish, community or town council, a registered charity or private landowner with one of the phone boxes on their land. Where we can't allow private individuals to adopt kiosks unless they own the land the kiosk is on, but our supplier X2 Connect doesn't sell them to interested parties. For further information, contact X2 Connect. Was Sleep Streams, how Kai Sennett, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, I don't follow these influencers. I'm 40 years of age, but sleep streams, how Kai Cenat and others make money filming themselves asleep. So they are actually streaming videos of them asleep. Most people Twitch in their sleep, but a few have found a way to make that into a profit. Video platforms like YouTube, TikTok and Twitch are filled with so-called sleep streamers who broadcast live footage of themselves under the covers. Kai Cenat, who was recently charged with inciting a riot in the US, is at the heart of it. Estimates suggest that he made tens of thousands of dollars sleeping during a non-stop month-long stream in March. One of the world's best-known streamers claimed on the Ice Coffee Hour podcast in June that he can make up to $15,000 from a sleep stream. $15,000 by just being asleep. For the viewers, sleep streams can provide them with a sense of community, someone to fall asleep with, as well as a source of entertainment. The idea might sound bizarre, but it isn't entirely new. In the early 2000s, the reality show Big Brother became one of the world's most popular watch shows, and a chance to watch housemates sleeping through the night on the show's accompanying 24-hour live streams became a surprise online hit. And then remember, they stopped doing the 24-hour stream because there was a lot of crazy stuff happening at night after contestants had several drinks taken. And in 2004, the National Portrait Gallery unveiled an hour-long video of footballer David Beckham sleeping. Other forms of sleep streams have started to emerge. Rather than paying streamers to sleep, viewers pay them streamers to keep awake. Now, I think this is rather dangerous, of like playing a computer game as long as you can until you get sleep deprived and end up getting a lot of money for it. These videos are These videos are like a live action video game in which the streamer is simply trying to fall asleep and the players or the viewers are doing whatever they can to wake them up. The trend started on TikTok and features sleep influencers or sleepfluencers like Jakey Boehm and Stanley, aka Stanley Mauve, who says he makes enough money from his occasional sleep streams to pay his rent. Viewers can pay a lot for the privilege. For example, for $95, viewers can pay to give Stanley Mauve an electric shock to a bracelet he wears. Usually when I do sleep streams is to make YouTube videos and make content out of it afterwards. So Get Me Zapped is basically just content for the YouTube channel, he told the BBC. I don't know if it's like primal instincts, but some people really like seeing other people in pain or other people getting hurt, if that makes sense. Listeners, viewers, I don't get it. I'm not going to set up a YouTube live stream where you can watch me sleep, and I'm not going to allow you to electrically shock me for $95. But I will let you comment on this story, and if you'd like to comment, my details are below. At Justin or Dawson on X and at AV Tech Junkies on X. And also, if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's at Justin_or_Dawson, and I'm on Instagram as well. Well, that's all I've time for on episode 82 of the All Things Techie podcast. Really thank you for tuning in. More episodes coming up throughout the month of September. I will be at Tech Connect Live. That's on the 14th of September 2023 in the RDS Arena in Dublin, Ireland. And loads of new projects coming out, including a social networking site for AV professionals in Ireland. More to be unveiled soon. But until episode 83, where I'll be at the RDS in Dublin, take care and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you for tuning in to All Things Techie Podcast, part of the Extreme Media Network. Follow us on Twitter at AV Tech Junkies. Subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch our show on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/@Justin_or_Dawson. Previous episodes of our show can be found on our official site, www.allthingstech.ie. For advertising and sponsorship opportunities, please visit www.extrememedia.ie.